Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Sam is here with me. Of course, Doris is there to give her takes on all that is happening. But CAF AFCON qualifiers, before this round of matches, we were in 5th place. We were 4 points behind the top of the team. 6 matches have now been played in the CAF AFCON or the CAF qualifying region for the World Cup 2026. And Nigeria, after beating Rwanda, which was it was the first time we're doing that away, and so we had high expectations. Came back home, okay, no, that Zimbabwe is almost like a loss, but no, they didn't lose to Zimbabwe. Drawing with Zimbabwe, and look at the table now. What are the chances? Now let's take a look at this. What are the chances of Nigeria qualifying? Now we are going to bring out our calculators, but we'll let you know how hard it is for Nigeria to qualify. Of course, Thoreau is there with me. Thoreau, just very shortly, let's have your thoughts. What were your thoughts after that match had ended on, on the Super Eagles and all that went down?
I think it was a disappointing one. We had 2 qualifiers. We were expected to win both of them. There was no room for any draw or any drama. We just needed to win. And unfortunately, they didn't do that. The last 5 minutes to manage the game and get all 3 points again, they didn't do that. Trust Ekong, of course, everybody, blaming Trust Ekong for that lack of concentration and awareness to be able to defend that equalizer. But at the same time, I think it's a general problem for the Super Eagles. You can single out players, yes. We can mention Simon Moses. We can mention Chukwueze, that didn't give his all. We can mention Ndidi and Co. And this would go back to when we were here sitting down talking about the 39-man shortlist or 39-man list that was picked by Eric Shells. And at the end of the day, he reverted back to 23, and the 23 were still the same routine name of players that we've always had. No change, nothing. Don't forget there's a certain Adelani Ishola for Ikorodu City. I would expect that young man to have been called up. Papa Mustafa for Niger Tornadoes as well. Good midfielder. We have Onye Dika. The likes, these guys were on the bench. They're energetic. They can, they have lungs to play the long game and all of that. But you didn't use them. You just the same routine all over again. No change.
Right. Let's leave the game now. Let's come to the table as it is now. South Africa now are 13 points. Now we know about the whole talk about deduction. We are still waiting to hear from FIFA. There's no official word yet from FIFA. But for the fact that there's no official word yet, does it not seem like nothing might happen? Can something still happen? If so far, they've not even mentioned that, okay, we received a complaint or something like that. Okay, so FIFA has not stated anything.
What we've heard about that is the fact that there is a possibility that the petition was submitted late. Because according to rule, it has to be within 24 hours. Wow. So maybe Nigeria was not, that's the out there, but maybe there's an exception to this. And there's also the fact that the rule that we are referring to is for a 6 games qualifier. In this time that it is 10 games qualifier, with the 2 yellow cards also be the same, apply in this instance. So that's it. Like you said, nothing they could be all of that. But then let's even leave that. Even let's take the 3 points away.
So now look at this.
Nigeria is 4th.
South Africa are taking this position now, yeah? We look at South Africa now, who are going to be taking this position. And then, as it stands now, if they are in, South Africa now have 13 points. Let's just say, even if they take off these 13 points away,
so remaining 10,
and they put it at 10, let's just say they give South Africa 10 points, right? Nigeria is still 3 points off, but that's not the major issue.
You know who's going to get that 3 points? It's Lesotho.
And
that puts Lesotho to the 2nd on the table.
Oh, wow. So that gives Lesotho 9. That gives Lesotho 9. And if that happens, Lesotho moves up to 2nd.
To the 2nd. So, I don't know when Nigeria keeps looking. That means it drops Nigeria back to 5th position. So, what are we looking at to get here? Because then you have got Rwanda, you've got Benin. We are all playing 4 games. No one is playing less number of games. So, we all have 4 games to play. Whether it's the fact that we are playing some games at home, we are playing at home. Even if we decide to win all those games, how do we make sure the other 3 teams or the other 4 teams ahead of us also lose all their games? So, on that route, Nigeria topping the group is almost impossible. Even if Nigeria comes 2nd, then you have to now look at the playoff.
That is where there's a problem.
That's another option that Nigerians people are looking at. So the fact that Nigeria can still get a playoff spot, but then if you get 2nd and you're a playoff spot, then your number of points will matter. We've got about, is it 6 or 8 groups? 8 groups. Okay. And then there are teams that are way better than us.
We'll get to that. We're going to go up against South Africa. We're going to go up against Benin, teams that are not easy for us to beat, and all of that. what do you think will happen when we go to Joburg, whatever, to take on South Africa? Are you sure Nigeria? Can Nigeria do anything? Can we get 3 points? Is that a possibility?
The last time we faced South Africa, it went down to penalties to settle the tie or decide the tie, right? So what's the guarantee that we would go to SA now and win at home when we can't even win at the Goswe Akpabio Stadium? So it's going to be a very, very difficult one. The South African national team, the Bafana are a very, very solid side. You look at them, they have 7 Mamelodi Sundown players. 4 of them are in the starting lineup. That's to tell you something that...
During AFCON, there was a particular match they used as much as almost 9.
Yeah.
During AFCON.
So they are deeply rooted in their league players that know how to play in this stadium and know how to play at home. So it's going to be a very difficult one. They know how to score goals. They know how to defend. They know how to manage games. That's something we lack totally. And there's proper management from Bruce. Or Bruce, rather. So it's something. It's not something that is impossible. Of course, we can always go there and win. It's not as if we've not won there before. But at the same time, it's going to be very difficult, judging from the form that South Africa are in right now.
People are talking about Victor Osimhen. Remember that situation that happened with Victor Osimhen and Boniface and all of that. Victor Osimhen, of course, came out to clarify. For me, even with Victor Boniface, that was not an issue. You should not have even brought up that point.
In football,
exactly. He was angry at that particular point and all of that. Now, the point is that 2 World Cup straight, Victor Osimhen might not even play a World Cup until maybe he's 30, 31. You know, and then we're wondering that when all of this are happening, he'll be 32 at the next one. Do you even think that we can even make that one?
So the next one is, I think that's the Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. I think that's the next World Cup. But then, how do we even do this? Let's leave the 2026 World Cup. I just think Nigerians should just let their mind be at rest. If you want to go to that World Cup, you need to find another route to that place. But definitely not this America's.
We should start thinking of 2030.
No, let's just go on. If you want to go watch, then you go. But forget about this because Nigeria. It's not going anywhere with this. And I believe by now everybody should have understand that. Yes, there's 12 points left. If we have that 12 points, that's with us. The 7 we have right now, so we are on 19.
But Sam, look at this. Look at this. You mentioned something about... Now, there are 9 groups. So, now this is what many people don't know. Now, this is a table of the second place teams in all the groups. Nigeria is not yet on this.
We can be,
because we're not second. Yeah. Now, look at it. Nigeria, how many points do we have now? We have 7 points. The best team for second place has 15 already. The next has 12.
I think that's the group of Morocco. Morocco talking with 18 or so.
Now, for Nigeria to qualify, would have to be amongst the top 4 best second place teams. Yeah. So that means that we need 5 points.
Mike.
At least. No, let's let people know how impossible this might be. See, look at in fact, Sam. This gets very interesting.
The second place team here has more points than the top place team in our group.
Bam.
So you know how hard it is.
Look at it here. It cuts off here, Sam. At that 4th place, this is this point. At here, this is where at this particular point, these are the only 4 teams. Now, this is what happens when these 4 teams are done. They'll play amongst themselves some seeding. So that is 2 matches already. Then the winner will now go to another playoff against CONMEBOL, Oceania, and CONCACAF.
And AFC. So we are having 2 representatives from CONMEBOL. Yes. From CONCACAF being the host continent, then 1 from CONMEBOL, 1 from OFC, and 1 from AFC. Then with 1 from Africa. 6 teams.
6 teams. So that means that you're looking at
for 2 spots.
Probably 5 games. 4-5 games. Now, depends on the seeding. 4-5 games extra. About that playoff spot is harder than even qualifying to the normal teams.
Very, very much harder. Very much harder.
That playoff spot, even if we come in that second, that playoff spot is hard.
So you need just 1 representative from Africa to go there. So like all of this that you say, just 1 person to go over there and then face these other teams. Then there's going to be 2 teams in 3 teams in 2 groups. So the winner between those 2 groups are the one that gets to qualify as the playoff team. Can we even make it in our air?
Can we even make it to this place?
Can we even get the 2nd spot, man? We've got Benin, Rwanda, Lesotho.
These guys will get more points.
Of us, yes.
These guys have 4 more matches.
Also, they're going to get
so they'll get more points.
So that's why I said Nigerians should just found an
left for me.
alternative way to get to the World Cup.
Forget 2026.
No. He's
That's
done
my
and
own.
dusted.
Toyosi,
Done and
your
dusted.
final predictions. Let's wrap up with this. 2026, are we going or not? What are your own? Just your final. Are we going or not?
I would love for us to go, really, but it's a very dicey situation. We put ourselves in a very, very, very tight position where even when you play the playoffs, there's no guarantee that you would knock out every other person. It's difficult. It's a very difficult route. If you're not table toppers going straight into the tournament from topping your group, the other route is very, very dangerous and very difficult.
Well, yes.
All right, Sam, final words.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to make it out of Africa because I don't even think we're going to finish second in our group. So then, not to not talk of going. So I'm just, like I said earlier, for any Nigerian that is looking at going to the Americas to go and watch the World Cup, they should find alternative route, not because of Super Eagles.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much, Toyosi. It's been a wonderful show on the beautiful game today. And yeah, we leave you out a little bit of a sad note, but hopefully we can start planning
That's what it is.
for 2030. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.